Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today, we're thrilled to have Loren, the founder and CEO of Catalyst Game Lab, one of the leading publishers in the hobby game industry, with a track record of successful licensed property, including BattleTech, Shadowruns, and he has built a very powerful brand in both game publishing and even in retail. So he has a very diverse background. He's also a novelist and also a key player in crowdfunding with some of the top performing Kickstarter campaign that he have run today. Thank you so much for joining our podcast today and sharing your story.
No, it's gonna be fun. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so can you first tell our audience a little bit about how you started this whole company? What is the background story?
I was in the Navy. I got out of the military and I started writing as a novelist for about 10 years or so. 10, 12 years, I worked as a novelist. And I worked writing books for game publishing companies, writing novels about their universes like Magic the Gathering, BattleTech, others. And I just did that for quite a while. And when the opportunity came up to get a license to create more material for BattleTech especially, I was in the right place at the right time. And I was offered to take over the properties for BattleTech and Shadowrun. And they've been around for, at that point, 25 and 30 years, roughly, or thereabouts. And they said, hey, do you want to publish these? Take over as the publisher. So creating game product as well as the fiction and other stuff. So, of course, I said, well, of course I can. I jumped in the deep end of that pool. And that's how Catalyst kind of was born. I'd been around for so long. I knew everyone. I had all the contacts. And they needed someone to step in and just run the brands. So I did that. That was 2007.
Oh, wow.
And that's where Catalyst was born. And I've been doing that for 17, going on 18 years now.
So I see.
Yeah. So I still write, but I'm also the publisher of the board games, the RPGs, the card games, all the stuff we do for BattleTech and Shadowrun. And over time, we've added more properties, licensed stuff out of Hollywood, licensed stuff from other game companies. We've invented our own IPs and did a lot of standalone board games as well. So I've been in the toy and game industry solely for the last 17 years.
Wow, okay. And I know BattleTech and Shadowrun are also just like you say, has been around for so many different years. What is your strategy to keep those classic games still relevant in today's marketplaces?
Both of them have an epic storyline, and it's really about people look for in games. It's all about escapism, whether it's for an hour or for hours or days or weeks, months. BattleTech and Shadowrun are sometimes called lifestyle games. People get into them and they stay involved. They play, they read, they do art or whatever it is about the world itself. They get caught up in it, and it's their form of escaping. And what we do is we just keep the story going and make sure the story stays relevant and welcoming to all people at all times. Both universes one's a military board game. One is a dystopian future sci-fi, fantasy sci-fi setting.
Yeah.
So they're not happiness and light. There's dark corners. There are strong themes, mature themes, but in the end, it's all about telling a good story. And as long as we keep doing that and keep our stories relevant to what's going on out there in the world, people keep coming back. And of course, they love to play the games themselves. But to me, the games are where they start, and then they get into the universe, and the universe is what keeps them around for years. For some people, decades. I've been a
Mhm.
fan. I was a fan long before I was a writer or a publisher. I've been a fan of BattleTech since it was introduced to me in 1991, I believe.
Oh,
Been a while.
that's a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's
let's
been a
see.
while for me, and
Yeah.
that's the way I approach it. If people are having fun, if people are enjoying the story, they'll stick around.
I see. And so your current business model, are you like one of the licensee for some of the licenses, and you based on the license you create and publish more additional ideas?
Yeah, we own for the licensed BattleTech and Shadowrun, we manage the properties for at
Okay.
this point it's for the Tops company, now owned by Fanatics. We are
Okay.
the managing licensee. So we
Okay.
don't own it, we just manage it for them. And part of that is
Okay.
make sure we're creating new products for them and keeping everything moving forward. And then we also license other stuff from other companies in order to keep expanding our own business. So we do our own stuff as well, but our primary focus and success has been working in shared universes through licenses.
I see. Yeah, I think the license is definitely a very intriguing area within the toy and game industry. I remember attending licensing expo in the past
Yep.
in Las Vegas, which is a very
Every
popular
year.
a very popular
Every
show
year.
in the licensing industry. Like for some of the newer people that's in the toys and games industry, what are some of the things that you would suggest or was maybe word of wisdom or advice for people that's considering getting licenses? What are some of the things to look out for?
Whether you're getting licenses or you're just trying to get into the toy game industry, my advice is really the same. It doesn't really matter if you're doing licensing or not. And that is have fun and do what you love to do. If your passion is to create the world's best doll, toy, fidget toy, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. If you're enjoying it, if you're having a good time, if you love what you do, then great. I love shared universes, maybe because I grew up as an author writing in them. So I know licensing very well and I really enjoy it. I love visiting other people's universes, telling a story, and then going on to the next one. That's what I love.
I
So
see.
I would
Okay.
say if you're and whatever you're going to do in business, if you don't love it, you will eventually hit a wall. If you love it, you'll keep going despite any setbacks, despite any other things getting your way. You will simply move forward because you do it first for yourself. And so that's why I do licensing. It's what I enjoy.
I see.
So
Okay. Yeah.
licensing or not, toys or games, to me it doesn't matter. Do what you love, and everything gets easier, and success can be found.
And I know you also publish a lot of new like games each year. Like how many are you working on in 2025?
Oh wow, 2025, we've got for BattleTech, we're talking 15 to 20 products between the plastic mechs and source books. For Shadowrun, we're talking 6 to 8 products. For other board games, for our board game division, we've got 4 to 7 things planned. And then we also have we have Leviathans. Leviathans has a line of 30 products. It's a brand new line we're opening up with a full miniature support this year.
Yeah.
And then we have a fiction department. We do audiobooks and ebooks and POD fiction through Amazon and other platforms. And our fiction department alone does anywhere from 3 to 5 products every month.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay.
So
That's a
we
lot
stay
of
busy.
yeah. That's a lot
Stay
of
busy.
that's a lot of projects. Sounds like for sure.
We
And
have a big team and we do different silos. So we have the BattleTech, Shadowrun, board gaming, fiction, Leviathan. So we've got 5 major paths currently, and we're about to launch another 1 or 2 in the next year. We just create like these little silos, and we have a team on each one, and we work on them till as long as they're doing well, as long as the customers are happy, we keep working on them.
I see. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I know one of you got a lot of success to Kickstarter as well during our previous conversation before today's recording. Can you also share some of your current processes for running like a successful Kickstarter campaign nowadays?
Yeah. I started by basically following it for I think I followed it for almost 2 years before I ran my first campaign. It
Okay.
wasn't where I want to draw all my focus. Some people run Kickstarters as a company, and that's all they do, just campaign after campaign. That's
Yeah.
not what I wanted. I still want to focus on the hobby retail distribution side of things. But
Yes.
I knew it would be big for us. So I studied and followed this for like about 2 years, learning.
Okay.
I always want to learn. I'm always learning.
Yeah.
So that's first thing I say is learn the platform you want to spend your time on. Just follow things, learn it backwards and forwards. You can actually do that in a few months. And then I started my first campaigns. I started smaller campaigns. I try, fail, see what works. How does the promotion work? How does the fulfillment work? What is it I'm trying to get out of this? Always with an eye towards knowing what my goal was going in and making sure I controlled every aspect I could for success. If you're hoping to get lucky, to go viral, if that's your goal, great. Me too. But that's out of my control. I always look at what I can control. How do I control my own success? And I just kept building and building. My campaigns got bigger and bigger. And then finally in 2019, I planned for it, ran what I thought would be a breakout campaign, and it broke out. That was the first BattleTech campaign. It ended up in the top 100 of all time for all crowdfunding.
Oh,
platform.
congratulations.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, in 2020, last year, we ran our second BattleTech campaign, ended up in the top 10
Whoa,
campaigns
okay.
of all time.
That's really hard.
It's just, but I spent 10 years, 8, 9, 10 years getting there. That was definitely not an overnight. It was a lot of work for an overnight success story.
Yeah.
And it was great. A $10 million campaign. You got to cheer and have a good time with that. But that was a lot of work and a lot of planning and learning. And it comes back to always try to keep control of try to control your own success whenever possible.
Yeah.
I knew how to control marketing, fulfillment, production, everything I could. The only thing I couldn't control was how far my reach was, but I did everything I could to make sure my reach was as far as possible. Then I waited to see what worked and what didn't work. In this case, it just worked. It worked very well.
Okay.
That was my goal, and I was very lucky. First of all, I had a 30-year-old property that had lots of fans out there. That certainly was part of the success of this. Having a large fan base to rely on, and then just doing the work, putting in the work, and then not being afraid to actually start and try it. I see people like all the time, they come up to this and they put all the work in, then they pull back and don't do it because they're worried about failing or looking silly or any number of excuses.
Yeah.
In the end, it is scary. It's something new, and you're putting yourself out there, and people are going to tell you if you did a good job or not. You can't be afraid of that feedback from the customer saying, we like this, or you know what, we don't like this. To me, that's information. It's good information to have. If I do something they don't like, that means I learned something I can apply to my next campaign or my next project. So always trying to learn, always trying to keep control of only trying to control things I can control and leave the rest to fate and see where it goes.
Do you also spend a lot of time on like audience building? I know a lot of successful campaign, they would build like a huge email list of like fans or followers before the campaign launch.
Yeah, we've built a huge email list, but that's just as a byproduct. We don't spend a lot of time building the list ahead of time. We use marketing companies. I've used BackerKit. I've used marketing. I've used GelUp. I've used others I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But we rely on them to help us with that part of it. And then once we run the campaign, of course, we collect everyone's email. So we have an email list. We can say, hey, you backed us on one of our previous 10 campaigns. Here's our next one. And some of them show up and some of them don't. But it really comes down to building the campaign people are going to want to talk to their friends about the next day or emails or whatever. If it's fun, if it engages them in the story, in the excitement, they're going to share that. And that's where you win. That's where the win is.
I see. How do you do that on the technical side? Do you put a lot of effort into different reward tiers or like different bonuses people can unlock?
I put a lot of effort into every part of this. The pledge levels, the rewards for levels, the add-ons, the story, the marketing. 8 or 10 categories, I'd call it, of things you need to do when you're running a Kickstarter a crowdfunding campaign. It's not just Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Running a crowdfunding, there's about 8 to 10 areas you really have to really lock down. They're not hard. They're really not. They're all learnable pretty easily, but you have to spend some time learning it. And then you have to get out of your own way and just do it. And what do we focus on? Everything. Again, if it's in my control, meaning not control for, if it's something I can do myself and learn and do, I do it. Because that way I can learn what works and what doesn't work to apply to my next campaign. In fact, my family has a motto we've used in business and overall over the years. It's called Ready, Fire, Aim. We learn everything we can that we can learn enough to actually do something. Then we don't wait. We do it. Then we look at the results and go, okay, what did we learn? And then we aim better next time.
Okay.
So ready, fire, aim, and just learn everything you can, and then just don't be afraid to jump in and see what happens. The worst that can happen is nothing. That's it.
You try
Nothing
again.
that happens is you could run a top 10 campaign.
For sure. And I want to kind of transition today's interview to talk about the retail side of your business, because I have interviewed a lot of people on my podcast, but you're one of the few people that do both. You do publishing and you also do retail, which is a very different type of business model, obviously. So can you first talk about how you even got into retail in the first place?
So 3 years after we started Catalyst Game Labs, another opportunity, I get weird opportunities come across my desk all the time. And in 2010, we had an opportunity to launch a store, a local store in Washington for toys, books, and games.
Okay.
And it was called Wishes. It was a Christmas pop-up store, a big one that never closed. And now we are 14 years later. We have 8 stores, 7 in Washington, one in Utah, and they're just Wishes, toys, books, and games. But they are fully retail focused, retail customer focused. So I'm both a publisher and I'm a retailer in the toy and game industry. So yes, that's how again, just a strange opportunity. And we looked at it and said, ready, fire, aim, let's see what happens. And we created a chain of stores that's still around today.
I see. And you also obviously sell your own games through your own.
We have our own stuff in the store as well, but that's the nice thing about for publishing. You're doing the shotgun effect. You want 1,000 stores carrying your product. In fact, I've got 8 stores. It's nice, but that's not where the success is. For the stores, the success is bringing in 5,000 SKUs, 5,000 different items, and offering a good selection and curating a good selection for my customers, and knowing where the market is and knowing what they're likely to want in the next year. And as a retailer, I need to get in front of where the trends are, what's going to be hot, what are people looking for Christmas, birthdays. As a publisher, I'm looking at more focusing on what my line needs to do for the next year. So there's between wide angle and narrow angle lens.
Do you also use your retail property to do some play testing with the customer for like upcoming like releases?
Yeah. We blend all the time. We test stuff out in our store. We look at the packaging. We look at our own packaging, how it works. My first store, I opened it. I was actually building a shelf of my product in my store, and I had one of my I have no way to put this on a shelf. Like it only fit like on a peg, which we had on the end, and that end cap aisle is too profitable for me to put this little game item on it. I need higher turning product. So literally, I took an entire box of my own product, walked to the back of the store, and dropped it in the trash can. So this, I said, this item is gone. And I said, we will never use this packaging again. It was like hang tab, cellophane, folds, whatever you call it, packaging. But I said, we will never use this packaging again because it is not retail friendly. I don't want to put my own packaging on my own shelf. That was that's why we learned something really big that day, and we never have done that packaging again. So
I see. I think that's one of your unique advantage because you are one of the few in the industry that do both.
Yeah.
very
So
few
we-
people can close. So
Yeah, we cross the streams all the time. We run play testing in our stores. We'll take people from our stores and do marketing checks. We will try our own product out. I like knowing both sides of the industry. It gives me a unique perspective, and probably is also why I did so well in the Kickstarter crowdfunding community, because it's both a sales and a marketing channel at the same time. So both my publishing house and my retail stores allowed me a really good look at how to focus on my crowdfunding campaigns.
I see.
It all came
And-
together.
Yeah, looking into 2025, what are some of the challenges that you're still facing in the marketplace overall, and what are some of your upcoming plan to overcome them?
The challenge of 2025 will be pretty clear. First of all, the retail industry is still getting over the pandemic. There's still people built a lot of home shopping habits during the pandemic. And as a retailer, you want people out, going to malls, going to stores, being outwardly focused and getting out of the house.
Yeah.
Also, I think people do enjoy shopping. They do enjoy shopping in person now that it's safe to do. But you get a better experience, and you also get better customer service. You get better, more knowledgeable staff to help you find what you want. Online, you're lost in just hoping the reviews are real reviews and you're learning something. So we're still getting over that pandemic mentality. That's part of it. As a publisher, the big challenge this year, will there be a tariff war? That could be that could affect it won't affect my business,
Yeah.
which my prices. If there's a
Yeah.
tariff war, my prices will just simply go up. That's just the way it works. All the prices will go up if that happens. But that's something we're looking at, because if tariffs happen, we need to adjust our prices, and we need to maybe adjust how we present our product in a more upscale fashion to adjust to the new price level. So we're looking at that. Shipping, I don't see a lot of problems with shipping this year like we had a few years ago. Shipping is now, that was a problem a couple of years ago. Like, it was terrible. Now it's pretty calm. And
Yeah, the shipping was
Yeah.
really bad during COVID. We have
and
container
for a
getting
couple of years
stuck on the
afterwards,
ocean.
and for years afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
So we look at the categories this year. Marketing, trying to find the influencers like you guys, like you're doing. We need more of that, because there's not a lot of good ways for me to market and get stuff out there. So getting to know what influencers are working, which ones have a good following, how do we get our product in front of people like you to put it in front of your people like your fans who are watching your show? That's a good question, and that's one of the problems we've been focusing on the last couple of years, and we'll continue to focus on this year. How do we get our product and those news of our store out to the people that need to know about it?
For sure. That's both for the publishing side of the business and also the
Yep.
retail side of the business as well.
Different focus, but same problem.
I see. And I know that you're also very active in a lot of the board game like trade shows industry as a whole. What are some of the trade shows that you're planning to attend this year?
We will be at our retail store will be at PAX East, Gen Con. We'll be walking the show at Toy Fair and Astra. Those Toy Fair and Astra are the two big ones for learning for the trade shows. And then we'll be selling product at PAX East, Gen Con, PAX West. For Catalyst, for publisher, we'll probably we'll be at Toy Fair and Astra as well. We get a double dip there. And then we'll be doing Origins, Gen Con, Adepticon, PAX West, PAX Unplugged, and I'm sure there's one there obviously what I'm forgetting. So we do both consumer conventions and trade shows, because we like to get out and meet our customers and meet our fans of the property, and make sure we know what it is that they're enjoying, so we can do that more. So we try to do that as well.
I see. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And do you have any other special project that you already mentioned about all the different publishing product you're working on? Any other special project you're working on?
We have some special projects going on. We just announced one of them. We just announced one called Runefire. Runefire is a card game based on the exceptional Pathfinder universe. So we basically are partnering with Paizo Publishing to create this awesome product of our mechanics with their IP, another licensing deal.
Yeah.
And so that'll be a big part of that. That one we just announced. We've got 2 more big announcements this year that we can't even talk about yet. So, as much as I want to, if I announce them early, I get in a lot of trouble. Not real trouble, but just my team will. My team may hurt me.
I see.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, no problem. And I think because your team is publishing so many different new games and new product, how do you really balance the game development with the creation of the story-driven content that you mentioned that's so important to the universe that you're trying to build?
There's no good answer to that. You know it when you get a feel for it, and you just know it when you see it. If you're doing too much of one story, one product, the market tells you. If you wait long enough for the market to tell you by not buying your product, you're already behind. You just get a feel for it over the years, and you take your best. You follow your best judgment. You take your best guess, and you move forward. And you try, you learn. Sometimes you fail. That means you learn even more, and then you just try again. There's no easy way to answer your question, in that we know it when we see it. That's why we've got 15 to I've got 30 some years of experience in this industry, in the toy and game industry, especially the game industry. So I just use it. I rely on that experience to guide me to where we're going.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. And as we are wrapping up today's interview, if you had to share just one piece of advice to someone that's getting started in the toys and game industry, what would that be?
What I've already said: enjoy what you're doing, and don't be afraid to fail. If you don't try, if you don't put yourself out there and actually do something, you'll never know what could have happened. And that's just the worst thing, is not knowing what could have been. I would rather try a dozen times and fail a dozen times than not to try to even see if I can succeed. So do what you love to do, and then just at some point tell yourself, I've learned enough, and just do it and see what happens. You will never. I have never known anyone who's been upset of themselves for trying too much, for attempting for success. I've never known anyone to say, damn, I wish I hadn't tried so hard. It just doesn't happen. Go for it. Just go for it. And
Makes
have fun.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that advice. And for our listener that would like to learn a little bit more about the companies and all the different property you have, where is the best place for people to find you online?
Oh, catalystgamelabs.com. Really. We're actually revamping our website right now, adding a lot more detail to it. But from catalystgamelabs.com, you can find links to all the projects that we get involved in, and special properties and conventions we're going to, and crazy things we're starting up and trying. Somewhere around there's always gonna be like a news feature that'll tell you where we're at.
I see. Okay.
And I got a Facebook page at Loren L. Coleman on Facebook. I don't put a lot on there. I'm not a big social media guy, but we get enough gets out there. People can follow and learn and just follow along.
I see. Okay. Thank you for sharing that as well.
Yeah.
For our listeners, thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support, and would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resources, tips, and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag #ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.